Judge's son accidentally hit someone with his car and fled the scene. He was confident that his father would use his connections to save him, so he didn't think twice before running away. But as soon as his father found out, he immediately got ready to take his son to the police station. After all, he was a judge, and he believed in justice. In Korea, such cases usually lead to just a few years in prison. However, when they reached the police station, Ho-young couldn't even step out of the car. His father, Song, had no choice but to go in alone to surrender on his son's behalf. As soon as Song entered the station, he saw chaos everywhere. On the big screen, footage of the car accident was playing. Every officer was focused on finding the driver. Then came the shocking news. The victim wasn't an ordinary person, but Kim's son, the son of the most powerful businessman and underground crime boss in Korea. 3 years ago, Kim had been imprisoned for a violent scandal, but Song knew that if Kim wanted to get out, it would be child's play for him. And now, after losing his son, Kim would make sure the driver suffered a punishment worse than death. Terrified, Song rushed back home with his son. Once there, he put on gloves and scrubbed every trace of blood from the car. Then he threw his son's blood-stained clothes into a garbage truck and stood there watching until the clothes were shredded into pieces. Meanwhile, in prison, the warden went to deliver the news of Kim's son's death. The moment Kim heard it, he exploded with rage and immediately used his connections to arrange his release. Standing beside his son's body, Kim was completely shattered. But the real shock came when the doctor said that if his son had reached the hospital just a few minutes earlier, he could have survived. Hearing that, Kim swore he would not let the driver live. Even though Song had erased most of the evidence, his anxiety didn't fade. The car was still in his garage. That night, he called an old friend over and, pretending to be heartbroken, said it was his wife's death anniversary. He claimed that ever since his wife passed away, his son would get asthma attacks whenever he sat in that car, so he wanted to quietly get rid of it. His friend agreed to help and contacted a butcher who supplied pork meat. The next day, the butcher came in disguise and drove away with the car. Watching the car disappear down the road, Song felt a brief moment of relief. Meanwhile, Kim obtained the emergency call recording from the police. He listened to it over and over and realized the caller wasn't his son. It was probably the driver. The caller hadn't spoken a word, but from his breathing, Kim could tell he had asthma, and that tiny detail became the biggest clue in Kim's hunt for the killer.